The best things in life are Ferree. If you had to wrestle this guy, whatever you got from him, you had to earn it. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
My name is George Ferree, and I'm a graduate of Trinity High School and 2022 and 2023 state champion.
Now, if you can't tell, I've been working on that intro for about a year now. We're here in Trinity's mat room. This is our second time being in Trinity's mat room. The first time we done Alex Ray's 1990 video. And yes, Alex, I still have your backflip video that you couldn't do. That might be safe for a blooper reel one day. And we done Richard Brown's memorial video in here, Coach Richard Brown, 1991 state champion. And today we are here with George, man, two-time state champion. You guys can't see it now, but you'll see all the banners, and the camera frame's not picking it up, but directly across from us, Trinity has all their multiple-time state champions. So George, man, let's start off from the beginning like with everybody else we do videos with. Trinity's got a great program, 3 team state championships, 1989, 2009, 2010. But what gets you into wrestling? How do you find it?
So I guess the story goes back to 4th grade. In elementary school, I was trying out for the basketball team, and I didn't quite make it. And so my dad was like, hey, why don't we take you up to Shamrock Wrestling, the youth program up here, and Mr. Colonel Hedges was able to, get me in here, and just fell in love with it from there.
So 4th grade, what year would that have been? Like year
that would have
as
been
in
like maybe 2015.
Okay.
I came started coming up here for practice like the week before region, so really late, and just came back next year, and from there it was all she wrote. And
just so people that aren't in the Trinity program, the youth and middle school and all that practice here as well?
Yeah, so it's a Shamrock Wrestling Club, and so a little later in the evening is when they all practice.
I got you. And it's in doing this, going around the state, I think this is the 8th mat room. I believe it's the 8th mat room I've been invited into, and it's cool to hear all the how programs build, how teams practice, because when you look around, you see, some of the names I'm looking at off camera here. Keegan Duncan, Ben Martin, Tyler, Frank Crone, Bobby Bryant, the Hitchings. I see Fahey's down through there. A couple other names, multiple-time state champions. Coming in as a youngster, man, seeing all the trophies here, the team state championship banners. It's got to be cool to be like, I want to be on that wall. I want my own banner up. So when you walked in, did you say, I want to get my own banner up there one day, or how did it go?
It's cool to be surrounded by such a strong legacy, and I'm a big Trinity guy, and I love all of this stuff, and just the tradition of winning that goes on around here is truly special. And I remember looking at those banners when Coach Fleming put them up in 2016, and I was in 5th grade at that time, and I was like, I really want one of those one day. And gosh, just many years later, I finally got it. So. And
of course, on the other side of us is all the, single-time winner photos. Alex Ray's up there, Bo Hoffman, and you were telling me off camera that, coming in, you'd seen like Alex's photo, Bo's photo, and now you can finally watch their, even though Alex's video isn't much to watch, he wasn't that good of he says he was Mike Tyson on the wrestling mat, but we all know, I don't know if we're buying that, Alex. Come on, man. What are we doing? I think Mike Tyson could do a backflip on command in his own wrestling room, but like I said, that's for another video. So you start with the youth program, and the middle school and the youth state tournaments. Maybe this is July 18th, 2024. Even in 2015, 2016, the middle school and the youth state tournaments were a lot more organized than they were even probably 5 years before that. But now we're having to have them in arenas in like the Pikeville Arena, the Corbin Arena, and the Exposition Center over here by Freedom Hall. So, you've been in it for a while. I guess you were, a multiple-time middle school state champion?
Actually, no. So just one of the funny stories about my development was that I never placed even in the top 6 in middle school, or I never really cracked the medaling in middle school, and that was one of the things that really motivated me to, pursue my goals very hard in high school.
Let that be a lesson, youngsters that are watching this, no matter what grade you're in, whether you're in high school or you're in the 4U group. George, two-time state champion, never placed in middle school. So just because you're not where you want to be right now doesn't mean you can't get to where you want to be. Doesn't mean you can't get your own banner hanging up in your mat room so all the youngsters come in and they're like, I want to be like George Ferree. I don't think anybody says they want to be like Alex Ray. I don't think I've heard anybody say that yet. But they could probably do backflips on command, Alex. So you're going to hear that throughout this whole video. I'm not going to let you live that one down. So let's talk, though, about your high school career. Now, the Trinity program, I don't know how many wrestlers they have, but I have to imagine they have, 50, 75 wrestlers come out? How many?
I'd say about 50.
And cracking the varsity lineup isn't the easiest thing, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Because off to our left here, we're looking at the, you guys can't see it, but it's the Rock Wrestling depth chart, and they're 5 deep, and it looks like every single weight is at least 4 or 5 deep. So you, as a freshman, 113 pounds, you're in the varsity lineup. Did you have to wrestle off for your spot every week, or how did it go for you?
So actually, the way that worked out was I actually played freshman football, as Trinity being a big football school.
Oh, yeah.
That's the route that a lot of us take going into here. But I actually didn't have any wrestle-offs that year. I know I started the year at 120,
Okay.
and then I cut down to 113 when there was the 2-pound allowance,
Right.
and so it was able to work out pretty nicely. And we had a really good team that year.
And as a freshman, like you said, 113 pounds, 2020. We were at the horse park. You got 1 year at the horse park. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But you come in 4th place, man. Very respectable showing. I believe, was it Trace that won, or Trey Blackwell? Trace Ekman won that. Okay, Trace, his video's on the channel. Current Bellarmine wrestler and national champion for Bellarmine NWCA. Or no, NCWA, that's right, National Coaching Wrestling Association, something to that effect, national champion for Bellarmine. So not a bad showing. You're on the podium. It's hard to say maybe not what you were shooting for, but nevertheless, you're on the podium. You know what it takes to get there. Then 2021 happens, Miss Rona, her shenanigans, the world shuts down. It wasn't fun for anybody. I mean, especially those in the sport, especially the referees and the wrestlers. Are we even going to have a season? Is all this going to be in vain? KHSAA done a great job letting us have a season. We had the semi-states that year. Coming into that season, everything's haywire. Everybody's goal should be to win. You should never be like, I hope I just, enjoy myself. No, if you're not coming in busting your rear end thinking, okay, this is my year, you're doing it wrong. But with Corona going crazy and all that, was the mentality of, all right, let's get matches when we can. Let's not overexpose ourselves because we don't want to have to miss something for that 2-week quarantine. How'd that go for you?
Well, our coaching staff was very vigilant on being smart about, where we went. And I believe we even took a few weeks off before regions just so that we couldn't, get DQ'd from a quarantine period and things like that. But my goal going into that year, obviously we didn't know if we were going to have wrestling, and thankfully we did. But I just wanted to do better than the year before, and my goal was always to do better than the year before, to improve. And placing 4th as a freshman already surpassed what I wanted to do in middle school. I just wanted a medal, and I was able to do that. And I think all I really wanted to do that year was just, get a medal, get top 8. And, I was very pleased to see that my work paid off that year. And so I guess going into the next year, I got a little bigger, 126. And that was a pretty tough cut, to be honest, as we'll probably mention later in the video. It was shaping up to be a pretty good weight class at 126, and I was like, let's go for 3rd or better. And luckily that ended up happening. And of course, that was the first year that we done the semi-states. There was, I believe, 4 semi-states that year.
and it was kind of, weird. It was a one-day state tournament, 8-man bracket.
Yeah.
And we had, two, I think, from the 4 semi-states across the state. So when you get there, you show up to GRC that morning. We're in a high school gym. It's still the state tournament. Are the nerves kind of setting in, like I can do something here, or how's it go for you?
So I hardly slept the night before, to be honest. I was just thinking about the matches I had coming up, and obviously you got to take that one match at a time. But my main goal at the time, I was like, let's go for the finals here.
Yeah.
And I had some good matches with people across the state, and even ran into Cole at this union duels thing. So
yeah. And let's talk about that real quick. Now, track has you coming in your overall record that year being 24-4. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. You start off that 2021 state tournament with a fall 3 minutes and 8 seconds over Bryant Fawcett from Bullitt East. Bryant goes on to get 6th. You win a decision 3-1 over Braden Herron from North Hardin. Braden goes on to get 3rd place. Then you get to the finals and you run into Cole Thomas from Rowell. Cole was coming in undefeated that year. Of course, Cole's on the channel. Current Thomas More wrestler, national champion, the NCAA this past year. Not 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 state champion. Cole gets you with a fall 3 minutes and 43 seconds, and we've actually got, of course, Cole's video, and we've got Jason Sidoris' review as the official for that match, because the fall happened right on the line. It's a great teaching tool, a great learning tool for a lot of new officials, people new to the sport, of how a fall can occur out of bounds, or with points being inbound, even though a wrestler may be out of bounds. Like other sports, your basketball, football, soccer, whatever, we're out of bounds, and wrestling not so much the case, especially now with the new rule change of the 1 point being in bounds. That's really going to be fun for people that don't know the sport. So if you have any questions on that, reach out to one of the senior officials so we can give you more guidance. We don't want to have to put somebody out of a gym for being belligerent just because you don't know the rules. You're in the finals, 2nd place as a sophomore, losing to one of the state of Kentucky's best wrestlers in the history of the organized state tournament from 1964 forward. Maybe not the result that you wanted, but you were still in the finals. You kind of got a taste of it, and I don't want to say you were disappointed, but how did it kind of feel for you, kind of coming up a little bit short? Because it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You're running in somebody like Cole. So kind of talk to us.
Well, just things like that always happen, and I still think that all the hard work I put in that year, is still worth it, even if you don't get the results you want. The journey is really what's worth it, and obviously, I still had 2 more years, and once I got the taste of the finals, I'm like, I'm going to be back, and I'm going to get it this time.
And on that, I don't remember the name of the name escapes me, but it was one of the, it was a YouTuber. They were doing like a motivational speech, something at a college or something to that effect. And maybe it was Sarah Blakely, the lady that founded Spanx. I'm sure you probably know what Spanx are. She was doing a speech. I believe it was her, now that I think about it. And she was Forbes named her the first self-made female billionaire entrepreneur. And she was giving a speech. She was like, don't become a millionaire, don't become a billionaire for the money. Become a millionaire, become a billionaire for what it makes you become.
Right. I think that I got a lot better at wrestling that year. I picked up a lot of things from, the coaching staff, and, all the hard work I put in that year. It really, it kind of transformed me as a wrestler from, maybe like not so much of a mature freshman to really starting to become one of those people that can compete for titles.
And with like football recruiting, basketball recruiting, you listen to that, not so much anymore because of the transfer portal, but back even just a couple years ago, the recruiting analysts, people that, that was their profession, they would always say the jump between the sophomore and junior years, the progression that you see on the field, on the court, wherever it may be, between that sophomore year and your junior year is going to tell you, yes, your son, yes, your daughter is a collegiate level athlete, whether it's Division I, Division II, NAIA, whatever it may be, junior college. That's where you can tell that they've got what it takes. They have the body, they have the attitude, they have the skills, and you made a jump. You went from the number 2 position to the number 1 position. Let's kind of talk about that real quick. For the next crop of George Ferrees, not just coming through the Trinity program, but across the state, across the country that can watch this, what was it that got you over the hump, man?
Well, after my sophomore year, I decided pretty quickly, I was in the gym just the morning after losing that match, that I was going to not cut weight so intensely. And, I feel like that was maybe one of the things that held me back a little bit. I could just feel that I wasn't able to perform optimally that year. And so I spent a lot of time in the gym that summer and really working on just holistically being a better athlete, as well as working on my technique, because both are very important. You have to be able to be athletic enough to put strength and speed behind your technique, but you also have to know what you do. So they're really dependent on each other. And so I worked really hard in the gym, and gosh, I gained so much weight even just in the week following that. People that cut weight will understand. So that was really just the grind. That off season was pretty important.
No, I get it, and I pride myself with the channel on a lot of things, having the videos, getting the individual to do the video, having the research, having the brackets, the photos, all that. But I also pride myself on the channel not being so formulaic. We don't sit down and have a teleprompter or anything like that. We have some bullet points we want to go over, the bracket, little information, but we ask the standard questions. And of all the videos that we've done, I think you're going to be video 326 and 327. We always get a different story. We ask the same questions, but we get different answers, and that's what I love about this. Is maybe, who knows, maybe Bruce Stepp's video doesn't speak to you the way that George's does, or maybe George's video speaks to you in a different way. You might hear something in George's video that you didn't hear in Keegan Duncan's. Who knows? I'm just throwing some Trinity guys out there. You can't always have George Ferree come to your house and do a wrestling clinic, but you can pop on the video and be like, I wonder what George has to say about this. Watch it. Oh yeah, hey, maybe I don't need to cut this weight. Maybe I do need to let my body get big. Who cares? Maybe I'm not going to cut down from, weighing 150 pounds to trying to make 126. Maybe I am stronger. I may not be as fast, but maybe I can compensate that with my technique. I need to get better technical and keep this muscle on, keep this weight on. So your 2022 season, man, 157 pounds. You're a junior. We'll talk about your record after we get done here. You start off the state tournament with a decision over Donovan Taylor from Connor, 6-5. So pretty good way to start off, man. A squeaker. Was you nervous? Was you kind of like, what's going on here, man?
So that was just right off the bat, and we'll go through obviously all the matches, and I didn't have a single easy match the entire tournament. It was all just a grind, just 4 decisions and everything. But that was what me and my coaches were ready for, and we were always taking it one match at a time. And that whole season, right when we just came out of COVID, we were able to, start traveling again, and we went to some really tough tournaments that year, and we were definitely well prepared for, fights like that.
No, I get it. And of course, Connor, we've been to their mat room twice. A lot of respect for the Connor program, Coach Bedita, and everybody we've done videos with. You get to the quarterfinals. You're wrestling Trey Cranfield from Oldham County. You win another decision, 4-0. Trey goes on to get 4th place. So Oldham, Trinity, not too far away. I think, help me if I'm wrong on this, didn't you guys wrestle them at state duels that year?
Yes.
Okay, I thought, because I think I officiated that duel. I'm not sure if I had that specific match, but I know I thought I refereed it, because it was, you guys and Great Crossing in the finals that year, state duels, right?
I think we wrestled Johnson Central before, and maybe we were wrestling Oldham in the consolation finals.
May have been. Okay, that it all kind of runs together for me. So, nevertheless, you won a 4-0 decision. You get to the semis. You're wrestling Carter Messerly from Rowell. You win another close decision, man, 3-2. Did that one have you kind of like nervous or?
So that was I hadn't had a chance to wrestle Carter previously in the year. Just different varying schedules and stuff like that. So our game plan was just the same going into every match. Just let's see what we can do here. And I was really shooting hard for the finals that year, and so I definitely put everything into that one. And it ended up being a very exciting matchup.
Yeah, when the first time I got to officiate the state tournament in 20, a lot of the senior guys come to me and it was like, before we started the quarters, it was like, some of the best matches of the whole tournament are going to be in the quarters. We got to the semis, and a couple of dudes were like, "We're going to have some matches here, Buster." And some of the semifinals that year in 2020, the first year I got to do it, was as good, if not better, than my finals match in 20. It was a 7-2. I mean, it was easy. It was a good match, but it was just, there was like nothing close. Everything was just like it was a takedown, cut, reversal, stuff like that. But some of those semifinals, man, I'm actually working on a video or a list, I should say, of the best semifinals. I know it's objective of who should be there and some of the matches across the years, but some of the battles we've heard about that should have been finals, they just ended up on the same side of the bracket. We're working on that, so that might be something you see coming. Nevertheless, you're back in the finals. You're wrestling Devin Herron from North Hardin. Now, Devin's coming in as a returning two-time state champion. 2020, 2021 state champion. Had you wrestled Devin in that season, or?
Yes, so we wrestled twice that year, and the first time was at the Lafayette tournament that they have every year.
Yep.
And it was in the finals of that, and I got pinned in that match. And so me and my coaches, worked on how we could overcome that gap and everything, and we know that Devin had a really good blast double, and so a lot of the work we did that year was on positioning and things like that, staying low, and that was the game plan. And then in the semi-state match, it was closer. I can't recall the score exactly, but it was just down to a couple points. And so after that, I was like, all right, like let's shoot for this. So,
and of course, that weight jump you're talking about, previous year you was at 126. This year you're at 157, man. So that's a lot of poundage. Were you like having to cut to get to that, or were you having to eat to get to that, or how'd it go?
There was, I would say, practically no weight cutting going on by the time I was 157. I mean, I was fairly below what I needed to be, or comfortably at least. I remember at the start of the year I had to drop a couple pounds, but by the time you're in the groove of practice every day, sometimes it gets easier to make weight like that.
And especially, I mean, I'm not a doctor. But the way it goes now with weight cutting, it's so stringent, so everything's got to be kept on track wrestling. And when you're used to cutting, like when you started, in fourth grade, your body kind of gets used to, okay, this is weight cutting time. This is, and not having to do that had to be a good feeling, right? Being able to eat what you wanted for the most part, not having to skip meals or, whatever. Only enjoy maybe a bottle of water once a day or something like that. But we're the 2022 finals, of course, we're still at GRC there in Winchester. The crowd restrictions had kind of been laxed a little bit, and off camera we were talking about it. But did you ever get to go to the dungeon in Frankfort?
I never had the chance to go to that one. I've heard great things about the championships that were there.
Oh man, it was awesome, bro. It was for people that are new to the sport or just didn't get to go for whatever reason. We can't replicate it. The building's been imploded. It's a flat piece of ground there in Frankfort. But it was just something about that dungeon, the way the seats come down right on the floor, the spotlights, the glow sticks. Like each team had their own, section of the arena, kind of like the original 13 colonies. You're back in the finals. We're still at GRC. It doesn't have the horse park. We're not at the horse park, of course, but you've been there before. You come up a little bit short against Cole. Are the nerves hitting you like, I've got to get this one, or I know what's on the line here? I can get my name up on Trinity's wall there. I get my own banner. If I win this one, I've got a shot at winning another one. Or was it just another match? I mean, because we hear the stories. Some people have been like, I went, took a nap, went and ate at my own house, done this, or I wrestled the match 1,000 times in my head. Or how'd it go for you?
I had such a great group of coaches and friends and family that were supporting me, and I think it also helped that making the finals of the year before, I was able to approach it with a sense of general familiarity, like the big stage wasn't going to be as much of a factor this time around, and I knew how hard that me and my coaches and everyone worked to get to that point, and in a sense it was just fulfilling all the work that went into it before. And me and Coach Fleming and Coach Dean, my corner crew, we were talking before it, and we were ready.
And that's I think that's a great spot to kind of put the brakes on right now. Now, George brought all of his medals, his rings, his trophies, and before we watch the video, we're going to get those. So we will see you guys on the other side. Now, of course, in wrestling, we get all kinds of cool trophies, plaques, mementos. That's one of the great things about the sport, is the uniqueness of some of the trophies that you do get. And the 20 season, man, we've got your medal and your coaches association and officials association plaque. Man, it's cool. You got one for each year, I guess, and it's kind of cool to see the progression of the colors change. You know what I mean? Still, I guess, glad to have them, but you're like, man, you look at this one, you're like, daggone Cole Thomas. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Yeah. Of course, Cole's got all 4 of his and all of his rings and all that. It was nice, but man, I guess it's something to shoot for, right? I'm tired of looking at this silver. Like Dave Barnes, we done his 1987 review video, and he got beat in the 87. His team, Simon Kenton, won the team championship, and for some reason, after the match that year, they took the photos that are so iconic. And Dave, he's wore out. He's got a black eye, and his parents ordered that photo from the company, I forget, a friend of Kentucky Sports or something to that effect, and they put it right outside of his bedroom. Every day he walked out of his bedroom, he had to look at it. He's like, I'd see that photo every single day. That's all I thought about every time I walked out of my bedroom, was having to look at me. I got beat in the state finals. I had a busted eye, all this kind of stuff. Of course, he goes back, 88, wins his individual most outstanding wrestler, goes on to Miami of Ohio, becomes an All-American. So motivation can work. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the same thing over and over. I will never feel like that again. But man, it's of course your sophomore campaign. Then we got the big gold here, man. Got your state championship medal and the plaque. It's got to be nice to put that on top right beside each other. I don't know how you got them set up in your house or trophy case, but it's still cool to set those on top. And Trinity does a really nice job giving you guys presenting, I should say, the I don't know, is there a certain name for the award, or does the team hand them out, or what? How's it go?
So that's the award that recently our coaches and everyone started to give out for our state champions. So I believe starting with Ty Lehman from 2020 and from then on. No,
that's they used to give these out. When I say they, the KHSAA used to give these out for the most outstanding wrestler. We have video of, I believe the first one that got it, that I have video for, was 1985 Dave Ritchie, and I'd have to go back and look and see what year they stopped handing them out. Now it's called the Orville Williams Most Outstanding Award, but I believe it's called the Classic, is the name of like the actual pose. So it's cool. Everything here at Trinity has a name. We're in what is it the Marshall Athletic Center? Is
The
that
Marshall
right?
Center, yeah.
Marshall Center. The gym is what, the
Steinhauser Gym.
Steinhauser Gym. So it's kind of cool how everything has like its own branding, its own name. And of course, the bracket. One of the cool things about wrestling, you get the bracket, and cool to show off and hang up. And too many other sports don't do this. The NCAA tournament, of course, we have the field of 68. Get to fill out your own bracket. But whenever your name's at the end of it, it's kind of cool. We're starting to see now other sports, like teams, they'll have like the Velcro in the locker room, and they'll like advance their name or whatever. So everybody wants to be like wrestling. It's all right, guys. We all know y'all want to be like us. So, George, man, you got all these medals, all these awards. I think the coolest thing is getting that ring.
Yeah.
So show us that big ring you got there, homie.
So here we have the Power T. It's one of Trinity's main emblems, and figured what better way to have the ring than our big notorious Power T.
Let's take a look at that thing. Of course, you guys will see photos of it. It's got your name on it, Wrestling Champion on one side, 2022 state. But with the ring, though, man, you walk in, and there's something just so catchy that's, even if it's not as jeweled out as this one, if you know the sport, not just with wrestling, but like a basketball state championship ring, a football, a World Series ring, a Super Bowl ring, you see it and you're like, take a peek at that thing, man. What we got? Oh, state wrestling champion, huh? I see what's up. It's so cool that we can take this and wear it in our everyday life. Whether you choose to or not is a complete different subject, but you can, and you can always look at that and be reminded, I know what my best is. I was able to pull my best out when I needed. I can have this forever, pass it down to my kids or family, however you choose to do it, not just you, but anybody that has their own ring, and be like, Granddad has 2 of them. I know what my best was. I got the proof of it. Whether you choose to play sports, whether you choose band, drama, whatever it is, just know you need to be able to pull your best out. Be able to pull your best out and always have that memento of,
I like that, yeah.
I got it. And I'm sure, I guess you wear them when you come to meets, because everybody, we've been on campus here. We was on here maybe 5 minutes before we walked over here, and there's probably 20 people. Hey, George, what's up, man? So there's like the basketball coach, AD, a couple other people recognized you. So, man, you're a familiar face here, and it's, I know what my best is. And you don't get there by yourself, do you?
No, and I owe everything to the people that helped me get here. And like you said, just a few seconds ago, like the Trinity community is if you know someone from Trinity, chances are they'll let you know about it.
Oh yeah, and that's a fact.
It's truly a special place, and I couldn't have done it without all the support from my classmates and coaches, and just people in the hall just letting me know that they're supporting me through all of this. And
there's nobody that I have met that loves saying they're from Trinity more than Alex Ray. The only thing is they must not have taught him how to do a backflip, because he's, didn't get it done. He got a lot of other things, but he didn't learn how to do a backflip. So Alex Ray drove in the morning of, we done his video here with Coach Ken Ellenbram. And like I said, he would let you know. He was at the state tournament this past year in 2024, and as soon as he walked in, there was some other guys we were standing talking to. I don't think he had his ring on. He was shaking his hand out. Class of 1990, Trinity, state champion. I mean, he told the whole section there at the horse park. I was like, if anybody loves to be a Trinity Shamrock more than Alex Ray, I'd like to meet him. So, Georgia, man, we've got the Parade of Champions, the face-off, and the match from 2022. We're going to move some stuff around. We will see you guys in Winchester in GRC's gym. Now, of course, you're seeing what we're seeing. We're at GRC's gym there in Winchester, Kentucky. our second year at GRC, man, second year in the finals. You're backstage, or kind of, I guess, back behind there. You're looking at the bleachers there to our left. Behind that, they call out, well, I guess whatever weight would be, 165 before you. Are you feeling it? Are you nervous?
You know, one of my favorite things that a coach or mentor told me was Coach Knable at Invicta. We worked a lot on mindset stuff and mentality. And if I remember the quote correctly, it was, "You don't rise to the occasion; you fall back to the level of your training."
That's right.
And so, when you're able to rely on all the hard work that you put in, it takes a lot of the pressure off.
You're 100,000% correct, and of course, that's Coach Isaac Knable, good friend of the channel, four-timer from. Can we say that? Can we say the name of that school in this mat room?
Yes, we can.
Okay, from St. Xavier. We don't want to cause no riff. We know that the St. Xavier and the Trinity, the Shamrocks and the Tigers have a little bit of a rivalry, if you will. But Isaac's one of my good buddies, and if you're going to learn from somebody, there ain't no better person on the planet to learn from than him. So, man, we've talked about it enough. Let's go. So he's coming in undefeated, defending two-time state champion. There you come trotting out, ma'am. And here's the match video. You've got Josh as your official. All right, so from neutral here, you'd wrestled him twice before. You'd mentioned about your coaches kind of giving you some insight on what we're going to do. Were you wrestling this match different than you wrestled other matches, not just against him, but just other matches this tournament, or was like this is the game plan we're using just for Devin?
So, you never want to plan for one specific person, but it's helpful to be aware of certain wrestlers' tendencies. Like if someone has a headlock, you want to look out for that. And like I mentioned earlier, Devin's blast double was pretty effective on me earlier in the year, and so I really worked on staying low and keeping my hands in good position.
I got you. Now, of course, right there out of bounds. Get back to the center line. I believe you got, is that Coach Fleming, and who else is in your corner there?
That's Coach Fleming and Coach Dean.
Okay. And I believe Trinity had you in the finals. Who else was in the finals this year?
It was me and Lane.
Lane, okay. You have a lot of like family in the crowd.
I had all of my family and some people came in to watch, and that meant a lot to me. And even one of my classmates, Ben, came to watch, and so that was special.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So we're about 30. I want to make sure I get it right here. We're 30 seconds into the match, kind of feeling each other out. Knowing you wrestled him twice before, do you think he kind of, the way he was wrestling you here, think he kind of game planned against you?
It's hard to say. We were definitely starting to get familiar with stylistically how we both were going to approach
Good scramble
this.
there, good scramble. Holding on to the ankles. Nothing's, there we go. Josh lets it burn there for a minute. You got Jason Sidoris as an official, so two really good officials. And they have a conference here, which is what you're supposed to do with if you have an assistant referee, if there's a close call, go conference with your head, and they do the right thing and they give you the takedown. It's the right call. That's what the assistant's there for. He's going to take down. Now on top here, first time we got to see you do anything on top. What are we looking to do against him? Not just in general, just against him.
He's very powerful on bottom, and so I definitely wanted to try and hold him down. As you can see here, that doesn't exactly go like that, but.
What's the old saying? One, not two. One, not two. I believe his cheering section's up there to the right behind him. Got their chest painted and everybody's clapping in unison. So this was also one of the years we didn't have a podium. So he gets a reversal right there. You don't look like you're panicking. You look like, okay, let's just get up, let's get away. Right of bounds. Now on bottom here, did you kind of know he had a certain breakdown, was he a leg rider? Or?
I honestly don't exactly remember, but I like to hit a switch off the whistle usually. That's just, usually my go-to, and from there I would transition into other things.
Now he hit him, got hit for stalling. You get up, you get your one. I think he was holding you up too long. Got the 5 count. So the score's now 3-2. About 50 seconds left in the second period. I believe the Trinity crowd's right there in front of us,
in that
right?
Corner.
That's what I thought. Even though you've been wrestling all season, a lot of matches, about 45 matches, give or take. This is the state championship, man. This is what you work for. Had the nerves kind of like zapped your energy, or was it like, I got an extra gear here, or what is it here?
Well, there was a lot of energy, a lot of excitement going into it, and I definitely didn't want that to, be too much of a factor, like I mentioned earlier. Being in the finals the year before helped with that.
And that's the end of the second period. So it's your choice. Look over at your corner, signal down.
As far as it goes, textbook wrestling, we're in a good position here with the lead and going bottom.
Now it should be noted that in the second period, Devin got hit for stalling as a warning. So you have no warnings. He has one. He let you up right there. Was that kind of a surprise?
I think it definitely made sense as far as being more likely to get a takedown than some near fall points.
I got you. He's trying some type of like arm drag or pull by or whatever. Wrestling techniques have 1,000 different names. Depends on what part of the world you're in. But he's trying nevertheless to like get some type of arm drag going on. Holding on to those ankles. That's something that you didn't see even 5 years ago in Kentucky wrestling. You're holding on to that leg. You kind of, I don't want to say you give it up, but tactically you're like, hey, I'm in a bad spot here. Let's let him get his 2. We're tied 4-4. Are you cognizant of the score?
Yes.
Okay.
And really this is one of those situations that, people can go their whole wrestling careers preparing for. Like, it's tied up, you're on bottom, you got to get out. I mean, it's like, everything that we've worked for in practice was just, get out.
Absolutely. So you're still down, 56 seconds left, score's tied. I was in the gym for this. They had some good finals that year. Reese Goss and Gavin went to overtime. A couple other great matches. Cole Thomas won his 4th this year against Isaac Thornton, that is. You see the Trinity crew up hanging off the banister there. Let's get in our seat, coaches. What are we doing? He's working on top. You're working on bottom. We're out of bounds. So this video doesn't have any audio, guys. We're sorry. But it was loud in that gym, I promise you. Just take our word for it. 30 seconds left, man. You can make it happen. 30 seconds. He immediately goes to that ankle. Right there, a pretty good scramble. You're reaching through that, hooking that leg.
I remember Coach Dean was telling me to transition out of that so I could get back on bottom and try and reset.
And if you can see, he's got your ankle. He let it go there. and he gets called for stalling. So you're up now 1 point. And of course Devin, that is voicing his displeasure. I believe this is his dad taking ref to the table, wanting an explanation. Jason's there in the center holding you guys in the 10-foot. I can imagine, this is a pretty fun conversation that they're having. So you are now up 1 point with 8 seconds to go. What are they telling you? What are your coaches telling you?
Coach Fleming is telling me to circle instead of back up so I don't get hit for stalling.
I got you.
And with 8 seconds left, we knew he was going to go neutral.
So he cut you, you give you 1. So you're up 2 points now, 6-4 with 8 seconds. We got a caution red. Right out of the gate, he shoots. You do back up just a little bit, hit for stalling, and that's it, man. You win by a final score of 6-4. 2022 157-pound state champion. Excellent performance, not just by you, but by Devin as well. It was a great match. It was a great state finals level match on both. Come down there to that last stalling call. And it was the right call. I mean, there's nothing in the rule book that says it's because it's a state finals doesn't mean that a stalling shouldn't be made. Just because it is a championship level match, stalling still applies, and it's part of wrestling. I mean, a basketball official would call a walk, a football official would call a hold, or incomplete pass. Maybe it looks like it was good or whatever. Review overturned it. Nevertheless, that's part of wrestling, is to push the action, even if you're in the state final. So, man, when the buzzer sounds, everybody yells time, you look up, you see that you win. What's it feel like? Talk to us.
I mean, it was a very, euphoric feeling to finally got to the top of the mountain, especially with the context of, the past, I suppose, 8 years, 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it was by then, kind of culminating in that moment. And it just reminded me of, all the people that helped me get there. And I remember Coach Knable, I think I can't remember if it was this year or the next year, but he texted me, he said, "You did it." And that was a special moment to me because of, how hard we worked on this. And, obviously me and Coach Fleming and Coach Dean, the corner crew, it was just, it was a great feeling, especially with all the people that came to support me.
Yeah. And the 2022, man, like I said, a lot of great wrestling. Your all's match was what a state finals match should be. Sometimes you'll see matches where there's somebody that is just complete head and shoulders, above, like your Austin Myers, your Joe Carrs, Bruce Stepp in '94. I mean, we go on, George King in 2000. We go on and on with the names. Fahey in 2012. You want to see, if you're a fan, you come, pay your money, get into whether you got somebody in the finals or not. You want to see great wrestling. You want to see close matches. You want to see it come down kind of like your alls. You want to see matches like Reese Gosson, Gavin Androni's going to overtime, first takedown wins. That's the whole point of it. That's the point of high school athletics, man. That's what they say in the sportsmanship statement. Good luck, have a great contest, and enjoy the greatest sporting event around, the high school state championship. And you guys had a great contest. Now, of course, you're a two-time state champion, 2022 and 2023. I think we've reached a great ending point on the 22 video. So we will see you guys in 2023. We'll see you there.